Okay, so today we're going to go over all of Harley's training equipment and his commands. So with Harley's prong, you'll put both thumbs, one right here, one right here. As long as you're in the middle of the prong and you don't try and take it out of one of these metal plates, it's easy to take on and off. So you'll put a thumb here, put another thumb here on these half circles, and just pull up, and it pops out. To put it back together, pinch the two ends, and they'll go right here. So you'll pinch it, they slip right in. I'll show you from this way, just like that. Put it back together, pinch the two ends, and it goes like that. Whenever you're putting this on Harley, you'll want to make sure that the collar looks like this, so that the circle fits in between these plates just like this, because if you were to switch the rings and have it like this, Harley wouldn't get a correction and it would be all tangled. And I have it marked for you. There's a little black Sharpie mark where I have marked for you which ring you'll need to hook the leash to. We have Harley's e-collar here and his remote. To turn the e-collar on, you have this red dot right here, and the red dot on that remote, you will touch the two together. They're a magnet and it'll light up green. To turn on the remote, it's a black L button, the big black L button in the back. You push and hold until the screen lights up blue. That same L button that you turn the remote on and off with, if you tap it just once, it becomes a flashing light. Tap it a second time, it's a flashlight. Tap it a third time and you turn the flashlight off. The button, so you'll have this black S button. That's what you'll be using the most with Harley. So his level is set up at 15 right now. Now 15 is the level that you will need to use whenever he is inside around minimal to no distractions, is level 15. Whenever you go outside, you'll need to turn the e-collar up to level 25. How you turn it up is you press and hold this knob right here, because right now it's locked. So right now I'm twisting it, it's not moving, it's staying at level 15. Press and hold this top button until the number blinks, and now I'm turning it just like that. So I'll turn it back down to level 15, but when you take Harley outside, you'll need to turn it up to level 25. That's just because when there's inside around minimal to no distractions, when you're just in your house, his excitement level is very low, his arousal level is very low, but whenever you take Harley outside, he gets over aroused, and so his tolerance level rises whenever we go outside. So that's why we'll need to put his correction level at level 25 when we go outside. So his boost level, so boost is this red button. It's for emergencies, or if we are practicing recall with Harley and we say Harley come, he doesn't come, we correct him with the black S button, and he doesn't come back, we will boost him with this red S button. So his boost will be set 25 higher than what it is. So if it's at level 15, it'll be 25 added on to 15. And then whenever we set it to level 25, his boost will be level 50. This T button on the side, it's a vibrate button. It's just not enough of a correction, so we don't use it. You won't need to use that. The two buttons you'll be using the most are your black S button and your red S button. And then of course to switch his correction levels, you'll need this, but the black S button and your red S button are what you'll need the most. And then we have Harley's slip collar, so he'll have all these 3 things on him whenever you're outside, especially inside. For the next couple weeks at least, keep on his prong, his e-collar, and his slip lead inside. That way the training can transfer over and he can understand what's expected of him at home as well. So the slip lead will need to be right underneath Harley's chin and as high up on the back of his head as possible. Whenever you put it on him, it'll look like a P for puppy. And then you'll just slip it over his head just like that. This is to tighten it or put it down to where we need to go. It'll be snug where you can only fit about a finger underneath it whenever you put it on. So whenever all of this equipment is on Harley, we'll put his e-collar on, and when we put it on, it'll fit either right here underneath his chin or right here. It can go on either side of his chin, but if you feel on Harley's neck, he's got little pockets on each side of his neck, and we fit the collar in on those pockets. So every couple of days, rotate where this sits. So for 2 days, you can put it on this side, and then that next day, that 3rd day, switch it over to the other side, just so his neck doesn't get sore from having it on the same side every time. So every couple of days, switch what side the e-collar sits on. So whenever we put it on, we'll have his prong on, we'll have Harley's e-collar on, and then we will have his slip lead on. And we'll have it on just like this. So if you go outside, you come across another dog. He barks at this dog. You'll correct him using the prong. You'll say no, correct. At the same time, you're correcting with the prong, you'll correct with the e-collar. So at this point, your e-collar will be set to level 25 because you're outside. So you'll say no. You'll correct him with the prong, correct him with the e-collar. At the same time, after you've corrected him, you will pull up on this slip lead, and the slip lead is a diffuser. So what that means is we're making Harley sit without the possibility of escalating the situation. So that's what I mean by a diffuser. We're not correcting him. We're just making him sit without escalating the situation. So again, if you take Harley on a walk, he sees another dog or sees a distraction of any kind and he starts barking at it, we'll say no, we'll make him sit, we'll say no, we'll correct with the prong, give him a good correction with his prong, give him a good correction on level 25 with the e-collar. After we've corrected, we will pull up on the slip lead and make him sit, and we'll pull up on the slip lead until Harley sits. So that way we're using our diffuser, we're using our slip lead, and we're making him sit without giving a correction and of trying to avoid the possibility of the situation escalating. So whenever that happens, make him sit, pull up on the slip lead. Whenever Harley does something unwanted, any unwanted behavior, that's when we correct with our prong and our remote collar at the same time, and then we will diffuse with the slip lead. So whenever Harley does something that we don't like, we always correct that behavior in hopes that if we correct it, the chances of him doing it again are slim. We want to let Harley know that whatever he did was not appropriate, so that he can understand what he needs to do right. Whenever Harley does something great, does something good, he sits when we ask him, or a distraction comes by and he doesn't bark at them, he doesn't react to them, we want to reward that so that he understands that's what he needs to do every time. So we reward the behavior that we like in hopes that he will do it again to increase the chances that Harley will do that again, and we correct what we don't like to decrease the chances that he will do that again. So the e-collar is rechargeable. It has a port on the collar and the remote. So on the collar, it's right here underneath these little contacts, underneath these prongs. It's right here. And you can charge both the collar and the remote at the same time. And to charge the remote, it is right here on the back, this little black little piece here. And the e-collar it's all waterproof. The e-collar and the remote, they're waterproof, so Harley can go swimming with this on, but after he gets out of the water or anything like that, we want to take the e-collar off of him. That way it decreases the chance of him getting a hot spot, because if we leave it on him and his skin is all wet and his fur is wet, it'll slide around, it'll create like a rash and irritation, and he can get a hot spot. And then at that point, we can't leave the collar on him anymore. So it is waterproof, he can wear it in the water, but once he's done swimming or whatever water activity, we want to take it off, let the skin dry, and then it can be put back on. Whenever, if he does or were to go in the water, we have this little tool right here, and it is used to tighten the prongs. So before Harley were to go into the water, we want to tighten down these prongs, make sure that they're tight so that water can't get in and ruin the electronics. Same for the rechargeable port. We want to make sure that that is closed so that water can't get in there. There is a warranty on his e-collar just in case anything were to go wrong, and you can email this right here. That's all the information you'll need to send in your information to get the warranty for that. And Harley's commands, we have heel, which means walk with me. His ears should be aligned with the seam of our pants or the middle of our thigh. Place is an elevated boundary that we send Harley on if we have guests over or anything like that. So it's an elevated bed. He understands that when we tell him place, he goes to place. He's not allowed off until we tell him free. And then we have recall or come when called. So whenever you're practicing recall with Harley at home, make sure that he's on about a 30-foot lead whenever you're practicing recall, because he is not off-leash trained. We focused more on Harley's distractions and things like that, and less on him being off leash. So for right now, everything is done on leash with Harley. So whenever you go home, make sure he does stay on leash. Whenever you're practicing recall outside, you can use like about a 30-foot lead, and then when you're done practicing recall, you'll put him on a standard 6-foot leash like this whenever we're just practicing heel or anything like that. So with recall, you can use a long line, about a 30-foot lead. So whenever Harley's sniffing something and we call him back, we'll say come, and he'll come right back to us. Down is just lay down and stay. Same with sit. Down and sit and place, we don't say stay with those. Stay is always implied. So whenever we tell Harley place, we don't say place and then stay. Same with down and sit. We don't say sit, stay. We just tell him sit or remind him sit every once in a while. Same with down as well. And then we also worked on leave it. So we drop something on the floor that Harley can't have. We tell him leave it, and he does not touch it. And those are his commands and all of Harley's training equipment. And now we're going to show you all of his commands.
Morning. Morning.
Morning.
Down. Good down. 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 Good down. Free. Good boy, Harley. Oh, good boy. Good boy.
Heel.
Yes, good boy. Good boy, Harley. Good boy. Good boy.
Leave it. Good, leave it. Good, leave it. Free. Good boy. Leave it. Good, leave it. Free. Good boy. Good boy, Harley.
Good boy.
Good place. 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 Good place. Place. Good place. 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 Good place. 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 Place.
Today's best music, D102 is streaming at BrilliantFamilyFruits.com, represented by Cabin Brandon Martin and Southern Nevada. Good morning, I'm Tom McGee. It's a big show. That was money coming back July 9th and 10th. We're going to Regional Airport in July.
Good place.
They're adding carnivaling this year, so that's going to be a lot of fun. They've got Kevin Balloon Rides, Balloon School, Kids Zone, live music, nightly balloon blows, which are a big fan favorite. And of course, over 30 colorful hot air balloons, and hopefully we get them in the sky a lot. In the morning and, around 6 o'clock or so, 6 to 7 a.m. and p.m. are the usual good flight times.
Good place.
Friday, the airport, still in parking park this year, no outline.
Free.
Adults 16 to 19.